Welcome once again to another episode of The Forecast, where we review movies, films, documentaries from a perspective of the four of us, obviously. But we mainly review Black movies, films, documentaries to give them that publicity, give them that pub that sometimes they don't get. And we always come to you Monday at 8:30 Central. And tonight we got a special show. We got a couple of guests on. And Dawk will not be here tonight. He is normally the fourth member of the forecast. He just got off the island of wherever he was, Barbados or Belize or somewhere. He was somewhere with his feet in the sand. So he'll be back in 2 weeks. And just give a heads up, we won't be on next week. We'll have a little bit of a break. We'll have a replay. But so coming to you tonight, we have my man Terrence Bennett in the building. Tell us a little bit about yourself to the viewers that may not know you.
All right, my name is Terrence Bennett. Everybody call me T. I got a sports podcast with Ben on BS3 Network. I live in New Orleans. I'm from Alabama originally, but I just have a double sports podcast, man. Interview a few celebrities, just different people, man. So just glad to be here.
Yeah, and he 100% ready. He got the 85 South hat and the hoodie on. So in there like swimwear. It's gonna be good.
Yeah.
All right. Keisha's been on the show numerous times. So thank you for coming back on. We appreciate you coming through. How's your day? How you doing?
Oh, they went well. Everything's going fine. Just waiting on my new little grandbaby to get here.
Yeah.
Due date is tomorrow. So
oh wow.
Oh man.
But we're still not sure.
Yeah. Well, we definitely praying for you guys, and that's a special moment. You know, definitely. I know you're looking forward to it. We got A-Trap in the building. How you doing tonight?
I'm good.
All right. And Wilkes?
I'm good.
All right. What you got in the glass tonight?
Oh, it's gone now, but it was it was a bottle of wine, but that's done with. So that's over with. But no, I'm good tonight. I'm good after that, so I'm ready. I'm good.
All right. So, if you're not familiar with 85 South, so it is a podcast, but it's also a comedy show, I guess you could say, quote unquote, with DC Young Fly, Chico Bean, and Karlous Miller. They all started on, from what I know of, they started on Nick Cannon's Wildin' Out. Shout out to Nick Cannon. And real quick, with Nick Cannon, these gave a lot of young comedians opportunities. So, and giving them, the opportunity to showcase their talents, especially those social media comics. He's really helped to give those guys opportunities. So, big time shout out to him. So 85 South Ghetto Legends, it's on Netflix, and they've been on tour. Now, before we get too far in this, I do want to say rest in peace to Jackie O, which was DC Young Fly's partner. So before we get into the special, definitely want to say that and pay respects to him and his family. And they've been going on tour pretty heavy. So, big shout out to these brothers doing their thing. Normally we started off, we kind of go through some initial thoughts. Let me first of all read the description of this. And how we do this at the beginning of the show, just kind of give you a description of what it was about. So comics, DC Young Fly, Karlous Miller, Chico Bean stay true to their roots. Nothing and no one is off limits in their freestyle comedy event. And it's on Netflix right now. It's about an hour. So let's get into initial thoughts. We're going to go to our guest first. Terrence, give me your thoughts on this the special And what was your thoughts kind of going into it? Because I know you follow the podcast pretty heavy.
Yeah, I was looking forward to it. I thought it was a good comedy special. I kind of felt cheated a little bit because it was so short. I know they got more potential than that. Cause I went to an actual Karlous show probably 2 months ago, and I was laughing like crazy. But just to see where they came from with their improv, it has never been done before. But I mean, it was great. I liked it. I enjoyed it, man. But I felt like they could have gave us a little bit more. Honestly, I felt kind of cheated a little bit being a fan. But yeah. I mean, I'm just heavy on the podcast and the actual live shows. But it's like once you get on that certain level, like Netflix and stuff, it's not like raw or whatever.
Yeah,
so
right. You can't, and you're 100% right about that. I mean, the hour, it went by fast, but also I'll say, and then maybe this is just their style. It didn't seem like it was any structure at all. It was kind of like it was kind of like it was just like we gonna talk about people in the crowd. It's not really gonna be me. I was thinking it was gonna be like a stand up, like they were each gonna kind of do their own thing. Obviously, they could do the stuff interacting with the crowd. So it was. I'm gonna say it wasn't my cup of tea, but I definitely watched it, to get them some support. Keisha.
It was just okay. I did enjoy Rich Homie Quan though. I cannot front.
Yeah.
I did enjoy him when he came out. But it was just it wasn't what I expected. Like I thought it was gonna be more of a stand-up comedy type thing. And then I guess the talking about the people in the audience was a little excessive to me, right. If you will. It's and they're funny. When I watched them on Wild and Out, they were great, especially DC Young Fly. But it was just like you said, it was just going. It was all over the place. And and it was, I appreciated that they tried to do audience participation. That was good, but it was too much.
It was over the top.
Yeah, it was just too much. Yeah.
All right, A-Trap.
If you say anything about some train smoke, I'm gonna step off this podcast. Don't do it.
Okay. Since she asked me not to, I'm not gonna do it. I like all three of these guys. I think they're individually funny, and I thought this sucked. I enjoy everything they've done up until this point. I like the music. I like the concept. I did like the concept because it brought me back to like the Robert Townsend comedy specials back in the 80s when you had Robert Townsend and Robin Harris and all those guys, Tommy Davidson doing that thing, and then they had a band and things of that nature. But like the things that y'all pointing out, I think they tried to make this a Netflix special instead of doing what they do. Mm-hmm. These dudes are insanely funny. All three of them, Chico Bean, Fly, and I forget. I keep what's the other dude name?
Karlous Miller.
Karlous Miller out of Mississippi. I enjoy all three of those guys. I think they dumbed down their performance to try to fit into a box, and I think they cheated themselves as well as their fans.
Yeah,
like Monique.
Indeed.
I ain't even watching that, so sorry.
I think
I ain't even gonna do it.
I managed to get 10 minutes. Couldn't do it anymore.
Yeah, and Terrence, we just this freestyle talking. So anytime you want to jump in, you got something. Anytime you want to jump in or comment on something, and the one and only Mayhem.
Drum roll.
Wilkes.
Mayhem.
I wish I had a drum roll, but I don't.
Mayhem in the kitchen every Thursday.
Every Thursday, yes.
Here it comes.
It fucking sucked. It was I don't know. It was trash. But if I were to watch it again, or even if they did a second one, I would still watch it because I think I know where they're trying to go with it.
Mm-hmm.
I think, and I have to say hats off to Netflix because it makes me wonder, are you supporting Black art because you're really wanting to support it, or are you exploiting it because you're giving us a space? Which one is it? But I appreciate what they were doing. Like I said, if they did another one, I'd probably watch another one just to give them another chance. I felt like this was kind of like, and even though all these are veterans, but I felt like this was a first time attempt at something. Mm-hmm. I don't know if they might do a live one next time, because didn't somebody have a live comedy stand-up?
Chris Rock.
It was Chris Rock.
Yeah, okay. Chris Rock had a live one. Yeah.
I mean, I can see if they're trying to fish more into that area. I have to say, I did not get into it initially. I tried to hang with it. I got a few jokes, got some laughs in. Definitely did that. I love the interaction with the audience, though, because that's kind of like old school, kind of taking it back to any kind of comedy stand-up routine. But yeah, I'd watch another one if they did one more. This one just, I don't know. It's like, it's kind of, I was in between. It's like, man, this is horrible. But then again, it's like, I know what they're trying to do. And I see what Netflix is trying to do. And I know we said it wasn't raw, but hopefully, they'll get to that point where, they'll really let them do what they do. And just, hey, David Chappelle had his moment. They were hot about his last stand-up, Maybe this one needs to get a little risky too, and just kind of, make them a little nervous. But other than that,
we can have some shots fired in the building. Let me get to some comments real quick. Anna, thank you for tuning in. She said he was in the Virgin Islands. I was talking about Dawk. Theodore Harper in the building. Thank you for tuning in. I did get your message, so we will definitely talk about that. Shout out to my wife in the building. We watched it together. She said this was garbage. A 5th grade lunchroom special. Sorry to be so harsh, but I was disappointed. Hey, you're not that harsh compared to.
I was like, that was harsh.
Yeah, that was nice.
I can teach you some harsh ways.
All right, now, Terrence, we roasting it a little bit. I need you to add what's
you the schoolers to you. It's up to you.
Yeah. Now this talk about the podcast and how does that relate to this special? Or is it two different things, or is it kind of on the same realm?
Like I said, I've been following them guys for years, man. And the comedy special and then like the podcast is like raw. You know what I'm saying? On the actual podcast, they just free. They really being themselves. I felt like it was kind of scripted on the Netflix special. I kind of like they dumbed it down a little bit, man. So, like I said, I liked it. I like to support them guys, man. But it wasn't like when I went to Karlous' show, I just like my side was hurting. I was laughing so hard. And my wife don't watch it like that, but she was laughing hard. So, it was. I mean, it's nothing like the podcast, honestly. And the live shows is different too. It's like raw. Like when they improv, so they do roast people in the crowd all the time. But like last time when they roasted the old white cop, like they killed him. But this time it just didn't feel like it was bad, but it was funny. Everybody was in there laughing crazy. So I mean, it wasn't like I said, I always support them, but it wasn't like I was excited like I was the show. Yeah, so in the podcast, I seen every episode, and they always just be great. So I wouldn't like the podcast.
To T's point, even if looking, I mean, and that's just me because I always notice it, but even looking at the face of some of the people in the audience, that's just what it, some people got, they're cracking up, some people kind of like, but, and I think that's what any kind of comedy routine you're gonna have. And I did feel like this was like improv, kind of an SNL kind of, in living color kind of thing, except they never went into like any characters. But I don't know. Like I said, I'd watch. I'd try. I'd give another one. I'd watch another one. I'd give another one another try.
Yeah.
I mean,
and for those people that watched Comic View, back in the day, it had that kind of vibe because DL Hughley come up there. They'd be like, yeah, look at this dude right here. And then he'd roast that guy, and then somebody else would come up. It kind of had some of that vibe, but it was definitely freestyle. Like that, hands down, you definitely can say that they stayed true to that part of it. And also, I think they had to only pick, I mean, and this is a question for you too. See, I mean, how long is the actual show? Because I'm sure it's on an hour. I mean, they had to probably cut and edit pieces out of this.
Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure. Like I said, all I saw was just special. I hadn't seen anything different, but they podcast longer than that.
Yeah.
They podcast longer than that, and even Karlous show probably 2 hours. So yeah, it was like I said, I felt shortchanged.
Hey,
You know, so I'm just used to sitting up a couple hours.
Yeah, thank you for tuning in, Alicia. She said definitely dumb down. The podcast is untouchable. They kept it cute for Netflix for sure. And honestly, Keisha, I'm going to come to you on this. They didn't have to do that. If anybody's seen a Dave Chappelle special, he ain't dumbing nothing down.
Hell,
and I get as raw. That get as absolute raw as you can get. So I don't know if maybe their management said like, "Hey, this is your first one. You gotta keep it. You gotta do it this certain type of way, so then people can get more eyes on it."
It's like if Bernie Mac was still living, he still would have never dumbed it down. He wouldn't have cared.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, Bernie Mac will be himself no matter what.
Right.
And kind of off topic a little bit. Did everybody watch Ricky Smiley's Open Casket Shrimp?
Yeah,
I did not.
You did.
Yeah, I saw it.
Okay, so do you think that he kind of dumb it down too on there?
I think he was being himself on that one. I think he was being himself on that one. Honestly,
If y'all haven't watched it, y'all should watch it.
I'd have to check it out.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one.
I haven't seen that one.
I mean, it was relatable. He talked about a lot of HBCU stuff on there, so I'm like, I see this stuff when I went to school. So it was like he went to the same college I went to, but he way older than me. But still, I related to the stuff he was talking about, so it was funny. Like I seen that on the yard.
Right. And he definitely hits that lane. You know, talking about Ricky Smiley, he hit the church stuff. I mean, anybody that's been to a black church, you'll understand and grasp that.
Right.
Right. Shout out to Big Illinois. He said, "Cat's not funny." I'm gonna disagree. I'm not saying they're not funny, but the three of them in this particular setup, I just don't think was funny.
Yeah, they funny.
The three of them separately, like Chico Bean, when he took his hat off, everybody laughed. I mean, everybody knows that his hairline is garbage, but like he still get it braided. I mean, that Karlous Miller is definitely funny. DC's funny.
I saw him at what's that restaurant our black folks go to in South Lake?
Cheesecake Factory?
No. Let's just say Cheesecake Factory because I can't remember the name. Lolo's.
Lolo's.
And I saw him at Lolo's one afternoon eating it. That he looked like Krusty because it was out. Krusty the Clown.
Krusty the Clown.
I was all stuck out.
Homie the Clown, yeah.
And when I walked, and when I walked by, he looked up and just started eating this food. I didn't say that to him.
Yeah. Shout out to Together We Break. Thank you for tuning in. And I'll say we've been watching a lot of In Living Color lately, which I don't know what streaming platform it's on, but they got full episodes like on YouTube that we've been watching from time to time. And obviously, I think there's some things they could have done. And nothing seemed to be in sequence, which again I know is freestyle.
Yeah.
So let's kind of touch on the aspect of the crowd, because some people I think they came thinking like, okay, which I think the majority of us on here tonight watching it like, yeah, we know the three of them, we know what they can do, we've seen them on Wilding Out, so this should be Wilding Out this should be the podcast type thing. And people just looked like, what the hell is this? And maybe because they haven't seen any of it. So when it was panning the camera to people,
I agree.
It just, that part of it, A-Trap, that part of it was really, I'm going to say eye-opening or...
kind of telling.
Telling, yes.
It just show, what it looks like, what it looked like to me, actually. It looked like this was the first time they ever done it. What happened, it looks like you said, it looked pieced together. You can clearly see it was edited perfectly, so it looked like it was one streaming situation, and that's what made it look chaotic. It was shocking that Stan Lathan actually directed this.
Yeah, that's the part that kind of shook me. I mean, because that dude is legendary when it comes to the comedy game.
Stan been around since the 70s. He's been around as long as I've been around.
Yeah.
And I mean, when I say been around, I mean on Earth. The man did Sanford and Son and everything, man.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. He said A.B. Schumer was more entertaining. Nah,
come on,
I never know.
Ooh.
I'll let you have that one. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't know about that one, boss. I don't know
about that one, boss.
I don't know about that one, Chief. I was like,
Nah, ever since she stole a dead man's joke, I can't see her do anything. She stole one man Patrice O'Neal jokes. I was like, all right,
I don't know, man. We're gonna let you have that one, man.
Yeah, she's not funny. She's not funny to me at all.
Yeah, but it was too chaotic, man. But I definitely understood where they were coming from because it was old school. It was old school. This is what people like Don Rickles, people like Flip Wilson, people like I said, Robert Townsend at the very beginning.
Oh yeah,
this is what they used to do.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, they probably had.
I'm glad they ain't go like Gallagher and get the busting fruit open. And
yeah, no, man, hold on.
Yeah. Now I think they had in those guys you talking about back in the day. I think they still had like a set in their pocket. They just in between the set they would say, "Hey, this dude look goofy," and then they go in on that dude, and then they come back to something.
Yeah.
So I think we can all agree. Yeah, we get what they're trying to do. They're all funny separately. But in this particular, how this went, and then they had the artists come up, and they did like 2 songs. So like that was what 5-10 minutes. So I mean that's like 15-20 minutes of it, which I did like that aspect of it because I mean music and comedy go hand in hand. So that kind of made sense. And I'm assuming they probably have different artists depending on whatever city that they're in.
Right.
It was good. It was good to see. It was good to see Goody Mob up there. So
I couldn't have done without them.
You did it without Goody Mob?
That outfit that CeeLo Brown had on was so snug.
CeeLo Green.
CeeLo Green.
Yeah, him. Who was that?
Already know.
That's CeeLo Brown.
CeeLo Brown, wherever he had that too tight outfit on, he looked like he was struggling. He would laugh when it come out, but right before he come out, you can see him pull his shirt down over his stomach. I said, Lord have mercy. Push the plate back.
Like that, man.
But when Rich Homie Quan started singing Lifestyle.
Oh, she was on it. Oh, she was with it. She was with it.
Lost my shit because
she was with it.
It took me back to a remembrance in my mind, y'all.
Oh,
when we went to my cousin's wedding, and that song had just come out. That was his and his wife's dance song.
Oh, really?
And he's a crip. That is what you call him. And he was walking all over the floor. I learned to dance that night. We was getting it in. We told that little hotel.
Man, we're gonna have to ask you to leave, man. Man, we're gonna have to ask you to leave. Calm down, man.
The security had to come in there.
Yeah, security.
Yeah, good time that night.
Yeah, you got. Go ahead.
Huh? Yeah, but at their live shows, they kind of always cater to the cities too. Like when they came to New Orleans, they had P-Town, Mo, and they always do that. Of course, Atlanta they have they crew or whatever. But everybody, like every city they go to, they cater to that city with music.
Yeah. And I think that's a dope aspect of it. I mean, I think you got to do that. Obviously, you got to pay respect to whatever city you're in.
Hey man, put that last comment by Big Illinois back on the screen. I like that, man.
He said A-Trap stand-up was better at the Brothers Palace.
That's right. Y'all ain't know that about me. Y'all ain't know that about me, right? Yeah.
I didn't know that. So A-Trap got on Netflix?
Yeah. No, it wasn't that. I wasn't that good. I wasn't that special. I wasn't at Brothers Palace either, but it just looked dope that my man hit me out there like that.
Oh, I was gonna say you did stand up, man. I said, man,
I used to be scared. I used to be scared to speak publicly, and I had a homeboy who was a comedian. He used to take me to open mics, and I just did it until I stopped being afraid to talk. But Brothers Palace is a joint out west. You get shot up in there. Doing funny, you gonna get shot.
Hey, they ain't throwing nothing at you.
They throwing lead at you.
He said, I don't know if they'll have another Netflix show, but this was mediocre. Yeah, I think they could probably separately. I don't know if they would collectively, at least on Netflix. I mean, the platform that they have, they could put out their own stuff on YouTube and probably.
Yeah, they got their own app and everything. I don't think they should do another Netflix special. I think they should keep doing their own thing.
Right.
Yeah. So out of the three of them, let's go around the room and talk about this. Out of the three of them, not on this special, but who do you consider the funniest out of the three of them? Wilkes, I'm gonna go to you first.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to say DC. For me, it's DC Young, but that's just because I'm watching him on Wild 'N Out. But I mean, they were all on there together, but I don't know. I just feel like, I don't know. DC always seemed like he was always that front and center. But that's just me.
Yeah. Hey, Trump.
It's 2 sounds at the Blue Ice.
That must be another spot that y'all
that's
go
that's
to.
the gay barn police academy.
That's a classic movie though too, man. That's a classic movie.
I say Karlous Miller, man.
Okay.
I like Karlous the most.
Okay. All right. Keisha?
Karlous Miller and DC Young Flower run them close first. But if I'd have to give it to Karlous Miller too.
Okay. All right, Terrence, coming to you.
Definitely Karlous, man. He right off the dome with everything. Like he don't even hesitate. Everything he say right off the dome. Nothing written. So definitely Karlous.
Yeah. I'm gonna say Karlous too. DC is funny, but sometimes he just
he be a little extra sometimes.
Yeah, he be extra.
What you need, man? That's what you need.
He be extra.
He be funny on getting wrong now.
But Karlous, you can understand what the joke is. Like DC, sometimes you just be going and you be like, I ain't get it.
Right.
With a punchline.
Yeah, exactly.
But for him, when they do that wild style on Wildin' Out,
ooh, that's one.
He go hands down.
It don't matter who it is. It don't matter. They getting roasted.
Everybody getting it. Yeah,
everybody getting it.
But,
even Azalea Banks.
Don't do this. But with Karlous Miller and Chico
we gotta talk
Bean
about that
battle
too.
each other, it's funny.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Because then
Chico Bean and Karlous Miller when they battle each other. Oh wow.
Chico would do the old. I say I was walking down the street and he do that Cool Mo D type.
Put his glasses off and his head up.
Yeah. And again, shout out to the creator of Wildin' Out. I mean, Nick Cannon. Who knows where the three of these guys would have been? I think they would have still been able to get to kind of like a star status, but Nick definitely gave them alley. Yeah, sure. All right, so kind of a side note, we all know what DC's partner Jackie O passed, and Azalea Banks comes out with her comments. Let's kind of go our room and talk about that real quick while we talking about DC and this crew. Now, I'll just say first off, man, it's nothing more insensitive to talk about someone when they're gone, and you talk about their remaining family member about something that happened years ago that's not even relatable anymore. You're not even relatable anymore. So this is what people do though. They need to boost their own career, so they'll diminish somebody that's already gone. They'll diminish someone that is hurting to boost their career when your career was trash regardless. So
regardless.
Right.
Yeah, I agree.
To me, this is when I say we, I mean us as Black people don't have to do this. Like, let's not do this.
Right.
Let me go. Terrence, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, going back to that situation in which he went to Wild and Out, and DC said what he said about it, but it's a roasting show, so why you go on now if you go get in your feelings like that? So that was, and then to do that during that time he was grieving, man, that was real insensitive. So I mean, I ain't got nothing anyway. That you can't do that to people, man, because that stuff can backfire on you, and you will see. Karma real.
Yeah, and I mean, you didn't watch any of Wildin' Out ever in your entire life, and you come on there like, oh, you're talking about me. That's the whole point.
Right.
That's the whole point.
And if you notice, when they did the Wild style, he never said anything. He just stood to the side and barely even smiled. So he really spared her.
Oh,
yeah, he could have went in.
Absolutely.
He really could have.
Totally spared her.
Right.
The whole team, the whole show could have went all in on her, really, because when you got a special guest on, anybody that's watched Wildin' Out, they go pull that person up and they go roast that person the most, because obviously it's a part of the show. You want to, if Snoop's on there, you don't want to see them talking to somebody else, to the lower guy on the show. They want you can roast Snoop if you're on there, and Snoop could be like, all right, cool, that was funny, and then go back to his house. Yeah, right.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, exactly. Hey, Trey.
Move on.
You know what? I would prefer not to even comment on that. That was some trash. That was classless. We laugh at DC Young Fly, but from what I understand, from what I've seen, he's a classy guy. I watched his when he helped eulogize this lady. It really touched me. And another thing, the fact that he's a class, what really solidified him being a class act is these, you know, he's more than likely he's a millionaire at this point. He could have been swimming in money. They offered him the Wild 'N Out show. And unlike most people, he said, nah, Nick put me on. I ain't taking this job. So if you attacking, for one, you attacking a dude at his lowest. Your lady died. You have children with this lady. You attacking that. And then he's just a 100 cat. So I would rather just not even talk about that, that shit because she's literally walking cancer.
Yeah. And I think too with DC, he really got it from on social media. Like that's to me, to go from where he started to come here, boy. I mean, that was his thing. That was his line. I may be saying it wrong, but he would bring it here. Yeah. I mean, I still know that, and that was I don't even know how many years ago it was.
Yeah,
so I mean,
about 10.
Yeah. I mean, so that the path that he took to get to where he is, you know, I think he's a dope guy.
If I hated him, I wouldn't go there. If he was the worst dude in the world, I still wouldn't go there.
Right, exactly. That's the absolute low. There's no lower than that. Yeah. And you got to look yourself in the mirror. You gotta answer to that. Like this ain't you just ain't gonna be saying stuff and expect to not have to get answer to that. And she gonna have an answer to that. So, Wilkes.
With a Christy.
I saw that her name had popped up and it was circling around. I try not to keep up with that lady, but I saw the comment and then I saw what people were going crazy over, and then I saw the article about the comments. Man, it's just like, yeah, like that's all you got. Like that's stop.
Right.
Like
that's what you're coming with.
Like that's what you're coming with. Like you just. That's not even okay. Like, you know,
that was just trash behavior. Trash.
I could see if you were like 5 people in a submarine, but that's different. But you know, that's
wow.
That's a different conversation.
That's the dynamite.
That was definitely some shots fired right there.
That's a different conversation. But anyway, she was
always
out of line.
Yeah,
right. What's up, Mo? Yeah. Newsflash, everyone! If you see an ad for a submarine ride, don't get on it.
Don't get on it.
Okay? Don't get on it. Even if it says for the very low price.
Don't do it.
$9.99 very low price.
A week.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. It ain't worth it.
Anything you got signed paperwork 3 times for is not worth it.
Right. If the
paperwork signs the paperwork said you can't sue us if this thing blow up, don't get on it.
You might not want to get on it.
If the paperwork at the bottom in bold say you may die.
Yeah,
I was controlling it with like an Xbox joystick, man.
Yeah, man, with 20 controller.
Yeah, and we're not talking about the current Xbox. We're talking about the original Xbox.
Right.
Yeah.
A Logitech, one of them, you know, $10.99.
Some knockoff Bluetooths.
Yeah, really.
But anyway.
Yeah.
Jeez.
And I'll say this: probably the main reason why I wanted to do this was because of DC, just to support them. You know, I think the one thing we can do, obviously, we don't know DC personally, but we can support his work, and he's a part of this. So that was kind of the reasoning. But funny story, interesting story. I didn't watch it until last night, and when I was Sunday, Wilkes put in the chat, who suggested this? I already knew it was gonna be. Something. So I'm watching it.
But that's a good question, though. Who suggested this?
I'm gonna give it the same answer.
It was
I'm gonna dry snitch. It wasn't me.
Was it you?
It was me. It was me. I honestly said, all right, again, like we've been talking about. These 3 dudes are funny. I watched the podcast. I was like, this has to be funny. There's no way this can be what it ended up being.
It was
what it is.
Yeah, I literally like the entire I can't lie. Like I was watching it, but most of the times I was playing Super Mario World on my handheld while listening to it in the background. I was just like, oh, geez.
God.
She said Mario
I
World.
fell asleep on it the first time.
And then I got to thinking, well, maybe this is, and I've been to Atlanta a few times, and my wife being from the area, but I kind of like, well, maybe this is like an Atlanta comedy kind of like inside joke kind of stuff. But it wasn't. It wasn't.
It was Michael Huff, safety, University of Texas.
Yeah. I was like, no, maybe I don't get it. Well, hey, some people were turned up in the crowd though. They were drinking. At least they talking back with the people. At least they got the excitement,
All speak my mind then, man. Since Wilkes did it, he opened the floodgates. This is an example of what comedy has gone. My man T, he hinted, T and Keisha hinted on it. We didn't got to the point where we can't even be funny anymore. People are so uber sensitive that when you say something, everybody want to be in their feelings. Look, this is how it needs to be. When we doing this, when we doing this comedy thing in the world, well, not us, but when comedians doing comedy, you ain't paying no money to see H-Rap if you ain't never seen H-Rap.
Right.
Y'all ain't nobody just going, hey, I heard this new dude H-Rap doing comedy. Let me give you $100 to go see him. Oh,
right.
If you know I'm gonna be talking about people, mom, and calling people the R word,
right?
And other things,
Retard.
Riri.
Riri. You know how I can't say Riri no more. I've been instructed I can't say Riri anymore.
Yeah.
But on the serious side, if you find this person offensive, why are you there?
Right. Because there was a time
I ain't going to see the airing of the Klan rally.
If I'm not mistaken,
it's gonna be for me.
If I'm not mistaken, wasn't comedy originally set up to go hear the news and people talk about other people?
Lenny Bruce, George Carlin, Richard Pryor.
It was your outlet because they're gonna talk about the media. They're gonna talk about politics. They're gonna talk about your mom.
They're gonna talk about the major issues going on.
It was an outlet for you. I'm paying you to say the things that I can't say, but I'm saying it. But since you're getting paid for it, we're gonna let you put it out there. That's what I thought it was originally.
Or better yet, I'm paying you so I can laugh at my pain. If I'm a recovering drug addict, I'm going to see Richard Pryor.
Yeah,
if I'm Whoopi Goldberg, I'm going to talk to people who, got molested and stuff like that. She was making fun of her life, and we didn't got to the point where maybe might as well just start going knock knock. Who's there? Some bull.
Yeah, I think that this counselor culture is killing everything. Everybody's so sensitive now.
Right.
So I mean, I met John Witherspoon before he passed. Like I went to one of his shows in Nashville. And he was like funny for real. So the counselor culture just killing everything right now. Everybody's so sensitive. Back then,
I ain't finna call it the cancel culture. I'm finna call it these dudes some chumps.
Yeah.
Look, check it out. If Keisha started doing comedy, she got us four to come to every show that she do, right?
Yeah.
Why is it that everybody want to get 8 people at their comedy show? If you making millions of dollars with us 4 coming to your comedy show, why are you gonna dumb it down to get 8? And then you're gonna get us 4 to stop coming because when that crowd leave, you need us to still be there. So be like Dave Chappelle. I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say, and if you don't want me in no movie, I'm good with that. Don't put me in the movie. But if you don't put me in the movie, it's gonna cost you money, not me.
Right.
Corey Holcomb is probably a millionaire because he does what he wants to do.
What are y'all saying? Did y'all say the cancer culture?
Cancel.
Oh,
yeah, not cancer.
I was so confused. I'm like,
the cancer culture gonna always be around. That's just you can't get rid of that. That's different. But,
yeah. What I think what it comes down to also is that DC, Chico, and Karlous Miller are still up and coming comedians.
Right.
When you compare them to Dave Chappelle, they're not even on the same level. So I think sometimes maybe this is people telling them this. Maybe this is them just knowing like, okay, I gotta pay my dues and I can't go all the way there yet. I gotta be not PG, but I gotta dumb it down a little bit. I can't be like Chappelle, who's been in the game for a minute.
But that's how Chappelle got there.
I know, but I'm saying people aren't. I don't think people are going. If it's a special, some people do, but some people may go like a route of I want people to get to know me, and I don't want to put all of it out there all at once.
I'm checking right now how many subscribers they got to their podcast on YouTube. See, that's the thing, man. Look, I want $1 billion. I'm here to tell you. I want as much money. I want so much money they're gonna have to turn the machine on and then come back tomorrow. That's how much money I want, right? But in order, you can either be true to yourself and do things the way you wanted to do and be happy with your results, or you can expand and then it's instead of all the talking, I'm just gonna go right to the 5 heartbeats. Remember, old boy, he said it, a crossover ain't nothing but a double cross. Once we lose our fans, we never gonna get them back. Look, you want to create a fan base, or do you want to be real popular for a short period of time? Yeah. And that's what these entertainers need to realize. Once, like my man right here, T got the hat, he going to see him, he got the sweatshirt, all of us checking out the podcast. I'm not saying you don't want to expand, but stay true to us, and everybody else will come to where we are. And that's what these entertainers today, in my personal opinion, are missing out on.
But remember, Ed Kane Jr. said that it wasn't Heartbeat who I know Ed Kane Jr.
I knew
maybe he said that because he wanted to
do that.
Maybe he said that because he wanted to be seen.
Oh man!
Maybe he didn't want to cross over because he didn't want to lose the fan base. Because ain't nobody got the pipes like Ed Kane Jr.
I don't need you.
My office hours.
Temptation.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis.
See you, Otis.
No.
Exactly.
But look at the people we talking about. The Temptations never made music for somebody else. They made the music for the Temptation crowd,
for their fan base.
The OJs, the Spinners.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm not gonna say this dude's first name, but shout out to Mr. Williams.
That's my man. That's one of my guys, man. You know, it's connected to my page. One of my guys.
That's like calling the dude delicious. I ain't doing it.
Call that man by his name.
No man delicious.
My man, the sugar daddy, man. The man of Williams. He ain't kidding me, but he a Williams. That's all he needs right there.
And I want to get you guys' thoughts on this too. I think social media has changed the comedy game too. Because again, these 3 guys, I don't know about Karlous Miller, but obviously we already talked about DC. He started off on social media. And I know sometimes social media comedy does not relate to stand-up comedy. Sometimes there's a different, it's similar, but there's a different way you kind of have to go about it because you're more so telling a story.
Right.
Because when some of the funniest comedians will come on there, the joke will be like 5 minutes, but the way they're telling the story and the pieces of the story make it funny. So, T, let me go to you on that. How do you feel about kind of social media comedy and how that relating to stand-up?
Yeah, so DC started with Vine back in the day. So that's how he got his niche. And Karlous, he moved from Mississippi. He started doing stand-up comedy in Atlanta. So he was popular doing stand-up comedy. I don't know how Chico really got into it like that. I just remember Chico from Wild and Out. But I know Karlous been doing it for a long time. But you got your Desi Banks doing stuff on social media. Your what's that, Wayne, Country Wayne.
Jesus is
God.
I don't know, man. I don't know how to feel about it. It's stand-up is dope, but could you imagine if Bernie Mac was living in this time doing social media? I don't know. It's kind of, you're funny or you're not.
And I think it's part of it too is our attention spans. On social media, you get Desi Banks will do a 1 minute thing and you die laughing and then you go to the next thing. So I don't even know how many people are truly watching stand-up specials because it's an hour. Maybe you watching it in sections or whatever. But Keisha,
I watched that movie in 4 parts. I'm sorry, that's not what you asked me. Okay, 4 parts. But you know what? I don't really pay attention to the comics on social media. Now, when T said Country Wayne, now I remember him. But I don't even know who Desi Arnett. What's Des Arnaz.
Desi Banks.
Oh, Des Banks.
Desi Arnaz.
You know, when y'all said Des Banks at first, I thought y'all was saying that's how I was mispronouncing Azalea Banks, and I'm like, she does. So I mean, you know, I can answer this question, but it'll really sound crazy, but I just
and Country Wayne, I mainly pay attention to him during Cowboy season. Because you know you can do something right after the game.
Always gonna do something.
You can do something if they win or lose. You can do something. Yeah. So, and to your point, obviously it's either are you funny or not, and I think that definitely goes into the social media. Because if you're not funny on social media, you might as well just hang it up. A-Trap, you're looking at bamboozled.
I get where you're coming from, but I slightly disagree because you could be funny and sketch comedy. That's what I look at social media, the Country Waynes of the world, the Desi Banks of the world, and those Chico Beans of the world. I look at them as sketch comedy. You know, for example, Keenan Ivory Reigns had us laughing for 5 years with a living color. But when I see Keenan Ivory Reigns on stage, I'll be like, ha.
But it's like Marlon Wayans stand up.
It's a different
Marlon Wayans, to me, he about fun as the last funeral I went to. Actually, I had more fun at the last funeral than watching Marlon Wayans. But when you watch his movies, he be having me dying, you know. Yeah. So I think the lines have been blurred. Look, I ain't finna tell my man Ha Davis not to be a comedian. I'm not gonna tell Country Wayne not to be a comedian. But it's a difference in being a comedic writer or a comedic actor and a comic.
Right.
And the lines have been blurred, and I think they've been blurred to the point so the people up top can make the money.
Oh yeah.
Because if I keep you in this box, or I get you to say I have to go into this box, then bam. Like, for example, everybody tripping up in arms about this writer strike. This is when DC Fly and Country Wayne them need to be. I would be like Country Wayne. He put out 6 videos a day, and he getting 120,000 views a day. Country Wayne probably making 800-900 grand a day.
Yeah.
And that's your lane. Stay in your lane. Country Wayne got a comedy special coming up soon.
Yeah, he's doing a special. I think Ha Davis got one. Desi
Davis got one.
Him doing it. So I mean, and I think the money is gonna be when you're doing specials, with specials kind of lead to acting. So I get the direction that they're trying to go, because I mean you can make good money though doing social media comedy for sure. But I think if you basically want to go to that next level,
that's the thing. What is the next level though? Seriously, being a hip hop dude. Being a hip hop dude, this is where I'm perplexed, because everybody I see go to the next level, they leave something at an old level. You could be richer than you want it to be, or you could try to be rich as Jay-Z and potentially lose your entire crowd. That rich as Jay-Z lane is very short. That's a very short lane, and it's thin.
And I think the next. I don't think the next level is they necessarily want more money. I think it's the opportunities. Now you can, and now at this point though, you can do social media stuff at any point in time. If you're on set doing something, so if you can do social media. So I think the opportunities and the multitasking ability that you have at this point in this day and age, they could do all of it. Like, and it's not.
But do you really want it? See, that's where I get lost. Remember, okay, let's take this back 15 years. And I know I'm the oldest cat up here, but I hope y'all can relate. 15 years ago, Monique was hot as fish grease, and she started doing movies and won that award, and then people were able to blackball her. People were able to push her out the way. Imagine if Monique would have just did what Issa Rae did. Dude, she did her thing, and Issa Rae created her home lane on YouTube, and HBO came to her. At what point do we see that worked? I'm going to stay true to me, and they're going to come to me. Are you going to make $20 million a year? No, you're not. But you will make $4 to $5 million a year, and I ain't seen nobody lose no weight and die from being from making $4-5 million a year. Do I want to make $20 million? You again, yeah. But to me, excuse my language, when you get to expanding your audience, it seems like you always be on some sucker-ish. And then you lose again. Keisha killing it. We love Keisha. And then she start expanding the audience. And then us four leave. When that crowd leaves, then we sitting on here talking about, I ain't watched that Monique special. It was one point in time, there's no way we'd have missed the Monique special. And I don't even like Monique, but I would have watched it at least.
Yeah. And I think if you gotta go, you good.
Okay. All right. It was lovely, fellas. Good night.
Have a good one.
All right. And I think when it now the Monique thing, Monique got in her feelings. That's the reason why. I don't think it didn't have anything to do with she.
Yeah, that was
wrong. I don't know, and I don't honestly don't care. I mean, whatever it is she decided to do, she did, and it backfired on her. Whatever her plan was, or whatever the thing is. Let me get to some comments here, and then I'll come to you, Wilkes. Dave blew the dust off a film before HBO got it. Is he talking about Half Baked? Because he wrote that, I think, with
him and I can't think his name, little white boy.
Yeah, I know you're talking about.
Was it Green? Seth Green? No.
Nah, it was. He does stuff with him. I forgot what the guy's name is, but I know you're talking about. Everybody can't command a large crowd. There are tiers. I agree with you there. Shout out to Michael Williams. I agree with you there. Dave Chappelle invested in him and won. Yeah, and that takes that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
What Dave Chappelle did, that takes guts, because he basically said, "Look, I know you about to give me this deal, but what is this deal tied to? Number one, and all money sometimes ain't good money, but some people would have took that. Some people would have took that deal." Go ahead, Wilkes.
No, I was just saying. Well, going back to the social media comment, I mean, we even we noticed it when we watched the other thing on was it Fat Tuesdays? Yeah. We noticed that, and you know how he was saying most people, you know, he even mentioned social media, YouTube, like that's where, you know, it's like that's where the new auditions are now. You know, does anybody even really? I mean, yeah, they still do improv, they still show up, they still want to, you know, amateur night or whatever, but YouTube definitely, social media, Instagram, Facebook, everything with Reels, TikTok, anything that's a short clip. Now they're longer. Hell, some of them getting to the point where they're 30 minutes. You know, they're not doing just 2-3 minutes no more. You know, they're doing 24-minute sketches. You know, so yeah, it's like a new wave. But I think, like H-Rap said, you know, when you're in front of a crowd, that's totally different from sketch comedy versus packing out arenas or, you know, little small venues. But yeah, it's just one of those. It's a thin line. It's kind of like you make it big or you don't make it big, and then maybe you end up. Because I notice a lot of these people that do social media comedy, they all kind of know each other. Sometimes they link up and they do stuff together. They put people on.
Yeah. So, what's his name? Big Jaw, Net Crew.
Oh yeah, Big Jaw. Oh yeah, he had some on Netflix.
And that's what I'm saying. I mean, we as working class individuals, I'm not even gonna take it to culture, right? We as working class individuals, we always we have this insatiable need to be accepted by the mainstream. Like us, we are literally the perfect example. I'm gonna ask y'all this. Well, I'm gonna ask my man here and you, Ben, because Wilkes just help us out. Wilkes ain't got no passion. It's outside of Wilkes and the Mayhem in the Kitchen on every Thursday on BS Street.
Right. Coming soon. Live.
But T, myself, and you, Ben, I'm like, and no judgment. Do you now? Okay, with the exception of BET, because we know that's the exception. You know, we know why I'm making that exception, right? Because our brother owned that now, right?
Right.
Would you be happy making $3 million a year with BS3, or my man? Let's just say you doing your show on BS3, right?
Yeah.
would you be happy making $500,000 on BS3 with the potential to branch out and do your own thing, being you making $3 million a year on a BS3, or would you want to be picked up by Tubi, or would you want to be picked up by ESPN and not be able to say what you want to say?
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I'd rather stick with BS3. Right. You free. You'll be owned to somebody or somebody else. Right. You control.
Right.
And I think it changes. I'll say that because initially when I got into this, I was like, yeah, I want to be on the local radio here. And then when you kind of get older, you realize like you can be working for them. Like the content that you put out is going to be through them, and they pretty much are going to own it. So my perspective changed. Yeah, right. My perspective has changed, and I would rather have BS3 make $3 million a year. I would definitely rather,
because you could be like my man. He just got picked up by Ian Smith for $70 million, but he can't be him anymore.
Yeah,
the white boy. Pat McAfee. Pat McAfee. He can't be Pat McAfee anymore. And it's two people to show you being picked up by the big boys or expanding your audience ain't always the best deal. Dan Le Batard and three of them, Dan Le Batard, Jim Rohn, and Dan Patrick. All three of them gave ESPN the salute. Like, all right, we out.
Yeah.
And hey, again, Dan Le Batard, look, just to show you how ESPN is just, we want to control you. Do you know Dan Le Batard? Everybody on the Dan Le Batard show was getting paid by ESPN. They said, hey, we're going to have to do some cuts. Dan Le Batard said, tell you what, don't do any cuts. Basically, so they can keep their insurance, I'll pay their salaries out of my pocket. They still cut them.
Yeah. And they're about to make some cuts. They're making cuts right now.
Make some cuts now. And like, I done got into debates with my homeboys about, like, I remember when Stephen A. first got that $10 million deal. My homeboy, he was like, hey, man, Stephen A. got a raise. I said, no, he didn't. He got compensated. No, man, he was only making $3 million. Now he's making 10. I'm like, yeah, but he's doing 15 shows. That's compensation. Yeah. That's not a raise.
I don't know when that dude get a break, because I guarantee you this week he gonna be on golf. He gonna be on UFC. He gonna be on.
And that's what I'm saying.
He gonna be on pickleball. He'd be like, why the hell Stephen A. on?
I'm surprised they just ain't got Stephen A. in the corner of the screen.
Well, it's just like Dan
every time out of him, man.
It's like Bob Costas. They stuck him everywhere. Bob Costas was doing Wimbledon. He was doing the Olympics. He was doing news. It's just because he Bob Costas. It's just, I mean, what's his name?
Rico the same way.
What's the other dude name over there with American Idol with the radio station and put the Kardashians on? What's the dude?
Ryan Seacrest?
Yeah, Seacrest. The dude. He's everywhere.
I don't know when he sleeps.
Right. I don't. Yeah.
But think about it like this: when they doing them shows, the other shows they do, they're stacking those shows on top of each other and then releasing them.
Right.
So they might have a very, very busy period.
All in the building.
And this goes back to the cancel culture thing.
Yeah.
Then you can't say what you want to say. Like me and Big Mo I'm finna get back into sports. Man, I couldn't be with the way I talk, I couldn't be on ESPN, man.
Yeah, nah.
They fired me for the commercial.
Day one, they'd be like, A-Trap is no longer on the show. Yeah.
Right. They'd be like, and now's at the Gatorade commercial. Sometimes I dream that his black ass ain't on TV.
But your show may be more way relatable opposed to ESPN though, and people going to enjoy it. And we want to be tuned in.
Exactly.
Going back to 85,
and that's what I'm banking on.
Yeah, going back to 85 South, they got their own platform with 2.4 million followers, so they really don't need to go nowhere.
That's what I'm saying. Why are you even on that
cater?
Yeah, risking cancel culture? You can't cancel me. Look, right. Bro. Dice, well, that was before. Corey Holcomb ain't been canceled, bro. Corey Holcomb say the F word. He say
he only
say the N word. Every word you ain't supposed to say, Corey say. And guess what? He did all that, and he just got picked up by Rock Nation.
Right.
And that's another station like Revolt too, where you got freedom. You got freedom to talk about it how you want to talk about it, and it's not radio, and that's like how podcasting.
Nobody's offended,
right? Podcasting, it don't matter what what you say, as long as you're not on IR radio or whatever these actual stations are, podcast is I think one of the remaining free platforms that you're able to speak your mind to the fullest.
Oh, absolutely.
No matter what the topic is.
Yeah, like everybody on the show, man. I love these dudes, man. I love these cats. I've never actually watched the Wild 'N Out program. I just watch them on YouTube. They are insanely, dude. Big job. These cats, man. I love it, man. I'm 52 years old. I swear to God, I wish I was their age now, because I would be butt naked in money, man. But these dudes, y'all keep saying, "Hey, Mr. Charlie, help me out." No, you don't. Well, I mean, T, how many followers you said they had?
2.4 million.
Why are you getting the Netflix? No, I don't need Netflix.
Yeah.
I don't need that.
They don't. They got their app and everything.
I hate to use this analogy, but just like when Pee Wee Kirkland was selling all that dope, he got drafted by the Bulls, and they was like, "We'll give you 36,000." He was like,
I don't need that.
I'm gonna take this penitentiary chance.
Yeah, I don't need that.
Hey, my uncle, the Spurs offered him 36 grand. He want to start working for the state of Illinois.
Right.
Yeah. Hey, that was during that time. It was not. Yeah, this wasn't lavish. This was like because you loved playing basketball.
And my uncle got a better crib than some cats that I know who played in the league. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But it's just we keep trying to expand. How many times have we said on this program? What are we expanding to? And we the culture setters. We the trendsetters.
Right.
What are we expanding to?
Right.
Teddy P didn't. When we did the Teddy P thing, Teddy P didn't expand. Everybody came to Teddy P. Everybody came to Prince. I mean, at what point do we start looking at this? What it is like? Because hey, man, when I get back in sports, I'm pissing off everybody, Jack.
Yeah.
Pissing off everybody. I'm not holding no punches, man.
You got a lot of valuable points, A-Rap, for sure. It's like a mom and pop restaurant or whatever. Yes. Everybody love it, but when they start franchising, it ain't what it was.
It's trash.
Yeah, it's trash after that. Yeah,
hey, that's a prime example. Yeah, go ahead.
That's what happened here with the Great American Hero Sandwich. That place opened up in 1974 in Dallas. Same spot, 1974. The man said, "Well, I'm gonna shut it down and travel with my family, and travel and see my family." That was like the end of 2020, maybe 2021. People step in, bought the place,
and it's a wrap.
It's garbage. 6 months later, they moved it, and now it's got to close. Why the hell did you move it? It was in a prime location, downtown Dallas, right on the outskirts, minutes from the airport, and you gonna move it all the way somewhere else across town,
all the way out the way.
Right. Come on, man.
From all the people that came,
right. Because you gonna get a better class of people. Now I need them same bums eating these sandwiches, getting this high blood pressure.
Right.
Right. Taking their blood pressure pill after they eat
New Jersey style high blood pressure sandwiches.
Right.
In the same spot,
man. Man, I mean, just think about it, man. Take your average corner store in the community, right? To use your example, Wilkes. People, I was gonna say some Chicago slang. I'd have lost y'all. They ain't going. I was gonna say, man, they ain't going there getting their wham whams and zoom zooms. Y'all have been like,
yeah, we know that.
But you go in there and get your snacks, because that's what wham whams and zoom zooms are. You go in there and get your snacks, and you go get your cigarettes. You get your snacks. You get your overly saturated sugary drinks.
Right.
Yeah.
They are making about $4 grand a day.
Easy.
But we hurry up and go get jobs.
Right.
And then get mad when, them Arabs in our neighborhood that's exploiting us. Because you went to get a job, Negro.
You went to get a job, man.
I mean, man. Hey, man. I've watched it, man. I've watched it. And that's what, y'all hear me go on this rant anytime we start talking about expanding your audience.
Yeah.
If you want to expand, I'm cool with that. That's cool. But I do this every week, every time I bring it up too. My man, Duck. A crossover ain't nothing but a double cross. Once you expand and move down the road, they can't come back to that original joint. It's us again.
Right.
No.
Right.
Yeah, go ahead, T. I think you were gonna say something.
My bad, T. I don't mean to
Oh,
hard.
no, you good. I was just saying loyalty is key, consistency or whatever.
Yeah,
absolutely.
You're 100% right. And to Wilkes's point, Dickie's is another prime example. I'm sure Dickie's barbecue tastes different, and now it's on every other corner, and it tastes like the most generic barbecue. That's not even barbecue. That's meat with sauce.
Yeah. When people talk about we gonna go get you some barbecue when you come to town.
Yeah.
Dickie's and Coke and barbecue. Don't take me to those Soul Mans, man. Get your ass out of here.
Oh my God. Soul Man's is one of them right off the freeway type joints that if you driving through Texas, you ain't been here, and you like, yeah, oh man, this is Soul Man's over
man,
there.
come to the house, man. I'm gonna smoke you some meat, man.
Right,
come to the house.
Right, grill my own stuff and go to Dickie's.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, man.
Exactly.
It'd be dry. You be about to die, man. You need some milk. You need juice. You need
barbecue.
It was just in Chicago.
That's like they with Popeyes.
Green store. They didn't even have a name for this joint. It was been a green building. It was the green store. They was selling everything out that joint, man.
And I don't know why people think Popeyes on a resurgence. I'm like, no, man, come on, man.
I wouldn't eat that at gunpoint.
Stop.
That sandwich, man. And that goes back to our power. Like, they didn't do no commercials. They didn't do any commercials. There was somebody that ate the sandwich. The guy that does, he actually had a show on Netflix. I can't remember his name. The dude always eats.
Oh, yeah. I didn't finish that program.
Oh, that big dude?
Yeah, the big dude eating them. Yeah. But I'm saying he did a video, somebody else did a video, and from there on, that was the easiest, I don't know, probably 50 million they probably ever got.
Damn chicken sandwich.
They had to do
I bet you they made $500 million off that. They were running out of the chicken.
They were running out of chicken sandwich. They had people fighting in.
They had chickens on farms, man.
At gunpoint, man.
Remember some cat got popped over. And we,
bro, you could have made this at home, man. What you fighting over this for?
We trying to expand our audience. To who?
Right. And I'll make you a chicken sandwich, man.
We made Walmart probably $1 billion one winter. Remember, with them nasty patty pies, man.
I'm sure, man.
Them jokers was horrible, boy. and shout out to my nephew. Everybody was like, "Ooh, these patty pies." My nephew did a video. He was like, "This is trash." But
see, that's what happened when you get into that was her problem. Just because maybe the one is good, but when you got a mass
production, it ain't the same.
It ain't the same, man. It ain't the same.
That's why when you use that high fructose corn syrup instead of using sugar.
Right.
Yeah, they were definitely overrated. Yeah. But again, that's because we said we did videos and I'm coming on here and said, man, this chicken sandwich is good. The minute them videos went viral, we one of them people, like if somebody puts something out, we gotta go try it just because somebody made a video.
Crazy over the chicken sandwich.
Yeah. As Williams Chicken still in Dallas, yes.
Oh yes. Yes. Oh yes. It is a funeral staple. When somebody passed, you take that box of Williams chicken. Get this box of Williams chicken.
I come on to Dallas.
See, that's what I'm saying, and that's why I be so adamant about this whole expanding of your brand. Yeah. Look, it's 60. Look, I'm gonna quote Dr. Bill Cosby, the real doc, not Dr. Hustle, but Dr. Bill Cosby. 1968, Joan Rivers was struggling. She said Bill Cosby stepped to her and said, "Don't worry about it, Joan. You're funny. If you can get 1/2 of 1% of the audience to laugh at you, you'll be richer than you ever thought you could be." Ever since I heard Joan Rivers say that's what has kept me podcasting, because it's 45 to 60 million Black folks in this country. If I can get 400 to 600,000 of them to tune in to me,
right,
it's a wrap.
Yeah.
Hell, if I could get 1/4 of 1%.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And Wilkes, you made this, going back to the 85 South, Wilkes, you kind of made this point. Is Netflix reaching out to these people? Right. Or are these people saying, hey, reaching out to Netflix? Which I think it's the other way around. I think Netflix understands the culture, obviously. We're all over Netflix.
Right.
So I think they're saying, all right, look at this dude, look at these podcast numbers.
Yeah.
Do it. Let's do a special one. We'll take one of your shows.
I think that's exactly what's going on now. The question is, because I mean, you obviously, well, it's Dave Chappelle. You can't put them in the same class because he's a juggernaut. But it's like you let them do what they do, and if they, like I said, if they come back with another 85 South, I can see where they're going. But if they don't, but like you said, they don't really need it because they got YouTube. They got so many people on YouTube, and they got their own lanes.
They honestly could have uploaded the entire show on YouTube, and that money goes directly into their pockets.
And they got their app too. They got their own app.
Oh, then they got their own app. That's right.
Man. I'm not doing no Netflix special, man.
But here's the other side. But here's the flip side. Like Ben was saying, even though that corner of exposure may not matter, it's under your belt now. Like, oh, you had a special
on your resume.
Yeah, you may never touch it again.
This is one hell of a resume, fella. But again, who are you showing that resume to?
That's what I'm saying. That's what it's like. You may never touch that piece again. But
what I'm saying is, see the resume.
Oh, you won't need to show it to anybody because you've already proved yourself.
Exactly. Y'all need to be coming to me.
It's just like Jordan. Jordan didn't have to play baseball. He wasn't that great, but he didn't need to.
No. And that's what I'm saying. We as a working, and again, I'm not even gonna make it cultural. Working class individuals need to realize you are the bane of existence in this country. Rich people are worthless.
Yeah,
they are.
They're not doing nothing. They're not caring.
People do stuff for them. Yeah,
they ain't producing anything.
Yeah. If you've seen any interviews from anyone that's extremely wealthy, they say, I have smart people around me. I just make the decisions, but I got smart people around me.
Oh, absolutely. That's what any kind of establishment. We're gonna have those. It's like, hey, I may have come into this, I may have started this, but guess what? I'm putting it in your hands to keep it afloat and keep it positive. Put that name out there, pretty much.
Yeah. Now, T, I want to come to you again on this as we can kind of round out the show, but. So the 85 South kind of group, they have more people, right, than just the three of them. Because I don't know if they've got another sector, but I've seen the other guys that when they got their podcast set up, they got 2 or 3 other guys that, and I don't know if they were included in the show and they just didn't put it in there or what.
Well, I mean, they got Clayton, they got Nav, and they got Moneybag Mafia. I can't think of his name. I can think of his name, Jack Thriller. They got Jack Thriller. They got they got comedians under them too, and Karlous big on bringing other people in, and he got to give a lot of jobs out too. So, from that aspect, like he said, like H-Rap said, they don't need nobody really. Like they got the app, they got their clothing line, they got all of this. They doing movies and stuff now with T.I. They don't need Netflix.
Right. Yeah. And to respond to Wilkes, in my opinion. It was a study done in 2016. If you notice, that was around the time you start seeing a whole lot of black people on TV. They said we over-index in television. That's why Netflix went and got these dudes, because we watch the TV.
Right.
Yeah.
So
and honestly, if everyone just watches it once, if the majority of the black culture watches it once, that's more than enough. Yeah, because they don't want to see.
We love these guys, man. We love these guys. This was horrible, but we love these cats, man.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, it's booty water, but it's like
right.
Garbage.
I told you I went to sleep. Until y'all said it, I didn't know this was an hour because I went to sleep and I was like, oh yeah, I went to sleep right around sea level.
I wasn't gonna even watch it until they brought it up. I was just like, oh, what's this? And I but then I saw we were reviewing it and I was like, oh.
Yeah, man, and that's the thing, man. Yeah, I just think,
and this had a little bit of a Kings of Comedy. When Steve Harvey was up there and he talked about the dude with the jacket.
Yeah,
I mean, anybody that was walking around, they were getting they were getting roasted. So which I think that part is not being utilized well enough. I think in some specials because they're just going to do their set. But I'm saying like you got some quality content. When people just walking around, and you like this dude look like Barney. I mean, like
Right.
Like the amount of comedy you just see with people in the seats, I think is needs to be utilized more sometimes.
Yeah, man. I mean, and again, this goes back to why we trying to expand. Yeah. You know, me and you and us as a group, as a collective, we partnered. That's the way to go.
Yeah.
Built for this network and BS3 have partnered to do the forecast and to do anything else we want to do and continue to expand our audience. And then me and Big Mo, we've partnered.
Right.
You know, so now I'm in Texas. I'm in LA with D-Grade. I'm in South Carolina. I'm in Virginia. I'm gonna expand that way, man, because you know, hey man, I'm just tired of always, hey, you know what? Master P showed us the way. Easy E showed us the way. Jay Prince showed us the way. And what we keep doing, we keep signing with Clive Davis.
Clive Davis is of the world,
yeah.
Signing them 360 contracts.
And the sad thing, a brother, Chris Lighty, created the 360.
Right. But that's crazy. All right, let's round it out. Let's get to some final thoughts and mic rating. If you're tuning in for the first time, we do 1 to 5 mics, obviously 1 being the worst, 5 being absolute best. And if those that have watched it, you can jump in on the comments and give us what your rating is. We're going to go to our guest first. T, give us some final thoughts and a mic rating.
Yeah, all y'all brought up good points. Especially age rap, man, about independency or whatever like that, man. For them they didn't need Netflix. Really, they could have just did it raw on their own platform, man, and used all 2.4 million they followers. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
But the show, like I said, I felt kind of cheated because I'm like, I checked the remote. I'm like, dog, that's it. It's almost over already. So I thought it was just warming up. So
right.
I'm gonna give it 3 mics.
Okay. I mean, I think that's cool. All right. A-Trap.
2.5.
Okay. All right. That's fair. That's fair. Any final thoughts?
I think they cheated us. These are 3 of the funniest 3 guys I've seen in the young, the leaders of the new school.
Yeah.
And we didn't get to see that. They didn't showcase that. I personally believe that they should have came out fly, Chico, Karlous, and then once they all came out and then got out there and did their roasting session, that would have made
bring them
this
all out together.
insane.
Yeah.
Even if they would have did 10 minutes each, 10, and then got them out there and cut up the way we know that we love them to cut up, this would have been epic, but it was average.
Yeah. All right, Wooks.
No mics.
No, so we go at 0.
No mics. Not giving it a mic. I'm not giving it a mic. No.
All right. But I appreciate your comments though, because you did say, hey, if they do something else,
I would because I felt like this was, like you said, they don't need this platform, but if you're gonna give me that accolade, if you're gonna give me that, I don't need Rolls Royce to back me, but if you want to sponsor me, you go right ahead.
And honestly,
one of them phantoms.
Yeah. And I hope with this deal they signed with Netflix.
Yeah.
I hope in the deal it was like, okay, it'll be on Netflix for this period of time.
Right.
After that period of time, we can put it on our app. To me, that would be.
And even if
put it on our YouTube,
to me, that would be. If they do 85 South, Ghetto Legends presents, something like that. Like if it even moves into, it's so much potential. But like you said, they can all do that on their own platform also too.
Right. But as long as out of this deal they said, all right, you got to be on Netflix for 6 months. And then they can put it on their app for those people that have the app. They can put it on YouTube.
Nope.
But I know
the Netflix rules are: if you go on there and tell jokes, you can never tell those jokes again.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And this was kind of side note. This was similar to Cat Williams special, which his latest one, which I didn't think was funny either. I think we all kind of agreed that it wasn't as funny as
it was garbage.
Past work, but
it was garbage.
So I will say this. I'm glad that I watched it. I'm glad that I supported it. I want to get that out there first. I think the 3 of them are funny separately and together. I do think they left a lot that could have been done. I do like the artists that they had on there. I think that gives you a different feel than just stand up. I like the live band. So I'm gonna give it a 2.5. I think it was definitely average. Obviously, we talked about it all night. If they do something else, I would, but I'm more so gonna get the app. That's what I'm more so gonna be focused on,
right?
Than them doing another Netflix. It's really no need for you to do another Netflix. You got your own lane, and the followers that you have, they're gonna be there regardless. So now, is the app free or is it a charge? Or
I think it's $8.99 a month, but for the whole year it's $85.99, something like that.
I mean, you paying that for, we most people got at least 2 to 3 streaming platforms because everything's not on one. So I definitely get it.
If you caught that special on Peacock last week, you got it for the year for $20.
Yeah. Or change the email. That's the running joke I always say. If for some reason anything we're reviewing, you say, "Hey, I don't have Netflix," use an email, right? You say you got TerrenceBennett@gmail.com. Next week, you just add a 1 to Terrence.
Oh yeah, definitely.
At Gmail. Add a 2.
Yeah.
They don't know. Now they may know now because but they know people. They know people get around the system. Like, let's stop. All right, so thank you, T, for coming on the show tonight. We appreciate you. You're always welcome. Anytime we review pretty much some of everything, so we'd love to have you back on again.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. Get some great insights. Plug what you got coming up this week. You got a podcast dropping, or talk about the back to school drive too.
Yes, I'm going home for my back to school drive July 29th in Troy, Alabama, man. I'm just giving back to the kids, and it'll be kind of like a little festival type situation. So I got family helping me do it. So that'll be my second one. So I'm looking forward to that. Podcast wise, I got some more coming. I just did Parlay from them Franchise Boys. He was on podcast. Yeah. So I got a few things coming up. I'm talking to somebody now. One of the guys that was on Cool Runners, if you remember that movie.
Yeah.
I got to talk to him, so hopefully I get him on. So I'm just trying to make it happen.
Yeah. And you just dropped one today.
Yeah.
So definitely go and check out his show, which is on bscnetwork.com. Also his platform as well, which is on Apple, Spotify. And just like it says right there, T-ENT Sports. Got a lot of great content on there. A-Trap, what's coming up on the end of the bench tomorrow?
Oh, tomorrow is a tumultuous show, as usual. I'm going to talk about education. First, I'm going to start off with education is the key to emancipation. We always talk about what people don't do, and these people don't do this. But the only thing we do is listen to the television. For example, I'm not sure if you guys heard about this sister who got attacked by this maniac. This brother punched this black woman in the face in Chicago. They initially reported that as she antagonized him, she provoked him, and then he attacked and she told the young man to shoot that man. You see the video, she's calmly talking. She ain't even like, whatever. She like, go get in the car, baby. Told her son to get in the car. He said, you say one more word. He punched her in the face, and her son popped him.
Yeah. Right. Now, I didn't get that whole video. Were they together? Are they in a relationship, or are they?
No, these are just
in the store.
It was at Smokey Joe's.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So we have to educate ourselves on what we're watching. We have to educate ourselves on us. We have to educate ourselves. Like, they're doing away with things like cursive writing. They're doing away with they're removing books. And speaking of removing books, his brother brought him a name. HBCU graduate. We all from HBCU. HBCU graduates. Markel Gray. He's in South Carolina. He got fired for teaching from a banned book. The book is called Dear Martin. It's a book that's teaching you about discrimination. He got permission from a black principal to teach from this school and got fired. Y'all ready for this? The school is made up of 85% black people. There are 23 white people in the entire school. One white parent got this man fired.
Yeah, I was going to say, you know where that was.
Yeah.
Right.
It only take one.
Yeah.
Well, when people get to talking this jibber jabber about election fatigue and things of that nature. No, there's no such thing. When you are a working class individual, you don't have the right to be fatigued about anything because you're working towards freedom. And shout out to your man Hot Wheels. He just did away. He set the stage for the destruction of diversity, equity.
I just realized what you just said.
Them the Hot Wheels, baby.
Y'all know I don't like it, your boy. Him or Raphael.
Theodore.
No, Raphael. That man's name is Raphael, man. His name is not Ted. His name is Raphael Cruz.
That dude named Sourpuss, man.
Right. But y'all know how I feel. They start off in Texas or they start off in Florida, then they try to do away with it. This is as for the last 3 weeks I've been telling people about the theme. The theme of my shows have been we are living in Reconstruction 2.0. If you don't know what Reconstruction is the period directly after the Civil War. We lived large. Just imagine you went from enslaved to some of us became millionaires in a 12-year period. And after that, redlining, discriminatory laws, like that's when loitering became illegal. You had 28 days to find employment after being enslaved for 250 years. So we are living in phase 2 of that. Right. You want to get rid of diversity, equity, and inclusion. That means we can treat you like we want to treat you. But guess what? If you get your behind up off your backside and vote, voting ain't gonna save the day. Y'all know I don't believe that. But what voting does do is build a wall so you can build a fort.
Yeah.
Right. It builds a wall so you can build a fort of protection around you. Therefore, we must get out and get something. And last but not least, I want to talk to the people about, look, we have no option but to vote.
Yeah.
We must not only vote, we must teach our children how to matriculate into politics. We cannot sit around and say Joe Biden is 3 days older than baseball, but we don't have anybody to replace him.
Yeah,
right. Look, we are sitting in a country with hundreds of old white people running the country, stuck in their ways. They're not progressive, and but how am I gonna get mad that Joe Biden, he older than my grandmama coat, but we don't have anybody in our community to take his slot? So,
I love how you're doing a set in the middle of talking about.
Yeah. But that's just how I talk, man.
He is old. I mean, like, there ain't no doubt about that. That's
but so, we can't. It's time to stop the complaints, man. We complaining for the sake of complaining at this point.
Yeah, you're right.
We must encourage our young people to, and you got it wrong again.
Yeah, I didn't even correct it. Hold on.
You did correct it. You did.
Go back down.
What happened?
THA.
Yeah. No, I never corrected it.
No. Last week you had the.
Oh, yeah.
It's
all
cool.
Right.
All right. But yeah, but those it. And then on the horizon, we got the Chief Seats coming with me and Mo, Park Bench Productions. It's gonna be on the End of the Bench Media, and I'm coming out of retirement, but I'm gonna have a co-host. I got my man Nino out of South Carolina. We haven't titled it yet, and I am in the midst. I've compiled. I need to talk to your parents too, because I'm gonna bring the H-Rap show back, the Rapping with H-Rap show. I have 1 second. Give me 1 second, please. Bear with me. I have.
There we go.
11 interviews lined up, 12 with your parents. I'm gonna do those. I'm gonna do at least those 12, and then I'm gonna release them 1 a week at a time. That gives me the ability to continue to rap with H-Rap and tell the thing. I got this one guy who I'm really I got 13. I got this one guy. He's a Desert Storm vet, former drug addict with one hell of a story. So I'm bringing that Rapping with H-Rap back. I'm bringing the Chief Seats out, whatever that sports show, and end of the and build and destroy, where we attempt to build up the community and destroy the lies and propaganda around the community, so we can help get up, get out, get something to help ourselves be better than we were today.
Yep. Definitely. Tomorrow at 6 p.m. Central on YouTube. Also, I don't have it there, but you see that T-ENT Sports, type that in. Google that, and definitely check out his content as well. Wilkes, anything special you cooking today before we end?
Mayhem in the kitchen.
No, nothing today, man. That's I did a pound cake over the weekend, but that was about it.
I did see that. It was a lemon
pound cake.
Congrats,
my friend.
Let me get a slice. Mail it up to the.
It'll be the ants will get to that.
Do it. No, just put it in the Ziploc bag.
I get it frozen, man. I get it up there, man. Next day, man. Get it up there.
Appreciate you, Theodore. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for your comments. All right, A-Trap, go ahead and close us out. Once again, another great episode of The Forecast.
I want to thank everybody for tuning in as usual. If you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, I need you to hit that like button. Thumbs up, subscribe, tell a friend, and tune in. BS3 is growing. BS3 is on the rise. Please support the movement. And salute to Combat Jack by saying, dream your dreams and man up and woman up and live your dreams, because life with dreams flows in black and white. Life without dreams flows in black and white. Life with dreams flows in Technicolor surround sound. And y'all already know, man, if I owe you something, I ain't got it. And if you need it, get it from God. God.
Him upstairs, please.
Him upstairs.